Hello, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be going over 3 ACT algebra math questions along with one bonus question at the end of this video. For all of these problems, I recommend pausing the video first and solving them before I solve them. Without wasting any time, let's get into it. So question 13 says, for 2 consecutive integers, the result of adding the smaller integer and triple the larger integer is 79. What are the 2 integers? So for this problem, people might just plug in the answer choices and try to figure out what the 2 integers are, but that's not the most time efficient way to do it, nor is it the best way to do it. So for this problem, I want you to exactly write down what the problem says. So what I mean by that is it says that the result of adding the smaller integer and triple the larger integer is 79. So let's just call the smaller integer x plus triple, so 3 parentheses, and it says the larger integer. So notice it says for 2 consecutive integers. So consecutive just means the integer after a number. So what I mean by that is 6 would be 5 and 6 are consecutive integers, as 6 is consecutive to 5. 8 and 7 are consecutive integers. 8 is consecutive to 7. So you get the idea. So for x, the consecutive integer to x would be x plus 1, right? Because here the consecutive integer is just that number plus 1. So, yep. And it says that the result of adding the smaller integer to the triple of the larger integer is 79. So now this just becomes an easy algebra problem. So now let's just simplify this. So this becomes x plus 3x plus 3 as you distribute this equals 79. And you get 4x plus 3 equals 79. Solve for x, which is your smaller integer. So you get 4x equals 76. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals 19, which is the smaller integer, because that's what we established x as. Okay. So now, if x is a smaller integer, the integer consecutive to 19 is 20. So your answer should be 1920, which matches answer choice B. Now let's move on to question 22. So question 22 says, given functions f of x equals 4x plus 1 and g of x equals x squared minus 2, what is the value of f of g of negative 3? So before we jump into this problem, I want you guys to notice another way this could be rewritten as. So this is a notation a lot of people aren't familiar with. This notation is the exact same thing as this. So another way, I'll give you an example. So if it asks you like g of f of x, right? This is just equivalent to g of fx. So these two are the same. So if you were to see this on the ACT, any of these, just know it's this. It's just asking this. So now let's solve the question. So it says, given functions f of x equals 4x plus 1 and g of x equals x squared minus 2, what is the value of f of g of negative 3? So for these composite functions questions, I want you guys to work from the inside and then make your way to the outside. So what I mean by that is, first, solve g of negative 3. To find g of negative 3, you just plug in negative 3 for x into the function g of x. So g of negative 3 would be negative 3 squared minus 2, which gets you 9 minus 2. And g of negative 3 is 7. Now, you can replace g of negative 3 with 7, which makes this f of 7. And now, same process. You just plug in 7 in for x into the function f of x. Let's do that. F of 7 equals 4 times 7 plus 1. Which gets you 29. All right, on to question 58. Question 58 says, let a and b be positive real numbers such that log of a equals 3 and log of b equals 2. It says, what is the value of log of a squared b? So for this, you need to know two log properties. So this is the first one. Just remember that when you're adding logs, that just turns into multiplication. And then the other one is the exponent property, which is the exponent just goes out in the front. These are the two properties that we'll be using in this equation. So they've given us log of a equals 3 and log of b equals 2. And they're asking us for the value of log a squared b. So let's break down log a squared b. So using this first property here, addition turns into multiplication. We can break this into log a squared plus log b, right? Because log xy equals log x plus log y. And now we can break log a squared into 2 log a using the exponent property, right? Because the exponent just goes out in the front, plus log b plus log a squared b. So it's given log a is 3. So, and it's given that log b is 2. So now we can just plug in 3 for log a and 2 for log b. So you get 2 times 3 plus 2. So you get 6 plus 2, which is 8. So that means log a squared b equals 8. So 58 is G. Now let's move on to the bonus challenge problem, which says if log 2y equals 4 and f of x equals x over 2 minus 3, what is the value of f of y? So we don't know what y is, but we can solve this using this. We can find y using the log equation we have here. So to convert logs into exponents, you just take the base and you raise it to the power of this number. So y would equal 2 to the 4th, which means y equals 16. So now if we know y, we can just plug that in for x here, as it's asking for f of y. So f of y, which is f of 16, equals 16 over 2 minus 3, which simplifies to 5. So that means f of y equals 5. So these are the 3 problems along with the bonus challenge problem. I hope my explanations make sense. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.